All right, sup, guys, or like this one Instagram account I know. Sup, you fags. No, I wouldn't start it after that way. All right, anyway, August 2nd, yeah, Sunday. This is something different. This is, I don't know if I'm gonna blend them together. I know I'm gonna talk about it, and even if I do two different vlogs, whatever. But this is gonna be about my marathon journey. And so yesterday I went and I researched it for a little bit. Talked to some people inside of runner shops that sound pretty knowledgeable about the stuff. They actually are runners. They're not just posers inside of a shop like some shops I know. But anyway, I did pick up some HOKAs. I was wondering about all the hype. And they weren't cheap, but they were reasonable. And I'm thinking you pay a price for quality and construction, and if the shoe actually does what it says. You can't say that for most of some of the biggest names. And I'm not, there's one name that I don't use specifically anymore because all I did was suffer from shin splints when I was on them, and I swore by the name. And I won't say never again, but it'll take it'll be something so drastic for me to even consider, or if they're just a pair of fashion shoes, whatever. But yeah. So anyway, I picked up some HOKA Bondis. I didn't like what they had in men's colors, so I picked up the women's one. Yeah, I understand they're narrower, and whatever the case may be, but they're basically the same shoe. I just had to buy them larger and as wide as I possibly could to match a men's shoe, and I did absolutely fine with it. I wore them today at Planet Fitness, and it was just a treadmill run, but still. The treadmill says I did over 12 miles. Apple argues that I'm lying and only has me at 10 and a half at just over 3 hours. So, I'm averaging around 3 to 4 miles an hour, somewhere on there, 3.5, 4 miles an hour. But that's a combination of fast walking and running. It was at first, my first hour was breaking myself back in, and with also breaking in the shoes. And what I did was I did intervals. I mean, I walk for a minute, then I would run for a minute, and and then progressively increase the load, whether it be going steeper on the walk or picking up the speed. And the first hour I was doing it at half-mile increments. So I started with a 3 mile per hour walk. Then I worked it, during the run. My first one was 5. Then I would progress to 5.5 to 6, 6.5, 7, so on and so forth. And I maxed it out at 8, and I came back down. That first hour, and because the treadmills only go for an hour, or else I would have kept going. After the first hour, I believe it was just over 3.5 miles. Again, I maxed out at 8, and everything in between. So that was the first hour. Now the second hour, I tried something a little different. Again, progressive increase in load and challenge. Walk, I think, same walk between 2.9 and 3.5 miles per hour. And my runs, so it'd be a minute walking, and then I increased it to 2 minutes running, and then there's a point where I got up to 1 minute walking and then 4 minutes running. And I think when I got up to 4 minutes running, I could only do that up to 6 8.6, I think, somewhere around there. And I say, oh, heck that, this is good. Yeah, that's it. So that was hour number two. Hour number two, I got a little more. I got, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, see the total with the 3 treadmills was 12, over 12, like 12.2, but it was 3.5, and it was 4 point, I believe it was, I think it was 3.5. Yeah, it was 4.5 or 5.5, and then the last hour it was almost 4. So, but then the total comes out to 12 at the end. But anyway, yeah. So that was hour 2, hour 3. About according to my Apple Watch, about between the 9th and 10th mile, I started really feeling it in my calves, and my groin and my ass. And a funny thing, and then this is where HOKA basically shone through, because my feet wanted to keep going, but my ass, my calves just said, fuck no. And so I had to power through, I'd say, the last half mile, maybe a mile. I had to power through, but then I did make it. It was over 4 miles for the last hour. I want to say I did a half marathon. Apple Watch argues that no, you didn't quite make it, but fuck you, I'm taking it. And that's a half marathon. Now, if I was doing a shoe review, this would be pretty unbiased, because I have spent my own money for this, and I didn't know what to expect. I went on what the reviews were saying, and what the cute salesperson at this one shoe store was saying, and I told her straight. Said, hey, I'm doing a marathon at the end of the year, and if I have to stop and I'm wearing a shoe, I'm gonna come back and see you. But she's like, no, you can't blame me for that, and blah blah blah. But she told me she uses Adidas, and I know which, I can't figure out, I can't remember the model name right now, but she was saying with the and well, she still uses them, but says the same thing that this other guy from Runner's High was saying, that the Adidas model, that, I mean, it's their running model, it wears out really quick, and it's like a one and done. So it's like, oh well, sub $200 shoes and you're one and done. Yeah, I don't know if I want that. What's to say though? I mean, they say if you're using your shoes every day, you're supposed to swap them out every 6 months. Who knows? By the time the marathon comes around, I'm probably gonna need a new pair of shoes. And if I like these ones, then I'll buy another one, unless something even, more beneficial will come around. I did also look forward, and I know I'm gonna need water, so I went and got a hydration pack that I can wear. That might, that's a little extra weight. And then I'm also thinking of doing weighted vest running, and that's going to be really hard on my knees. I think even just an extra 5 pounds, that just the hundreds and hundreds or times, thousands of times that your feet are hitting the pavement, it probably is going to take put some wear on my knees and stuff like that. Also, the other thing I was looking at, now I just lost my train of thought. Shoot. What was I thinking about? Damn it. I'm gonna have to get back to that. But it was a pretty big point about running. Okay, so this run was on a treadmill. I know it's different when you run on pavement or asphalt and stuff, or concrete. Yeah, the major difference being a treadmill, you're kind of not really pushing yourself forward, whereas there's a little bit of forward momentum with actually running on on the road. So that's coming up soon, I think. I don't know, I'm gonna have to see. When I came off the treadmill, I definitely needed to stretch out my calves, my hamstrings. And also, it's a good thing I decided to do red light therapy and hydro massage and regular massage, because if I just left cold, I probably would not be able to walk. And I already felt it coming off the treadmill after that run. So what they tell you, man, don't do shit like this cold turkey. That's what I was gonna bring up. I'm coming off cold. The last time I did cardio was probably, and it was shit cardio. I mean, I'm aside from going surfing and averaging a 170 heart rate, somewhere around there. And then I did cardio, and it was real short cardio. It might have been like 30 minutes. It wasn't nothing special. It was just to, get my blood flowing again. I'm coming in doing this like cold turkey, and I don't recommend it. I am in, I'd say I'm in better shape to have been able to pull off what I did, but I wouldn't come in cold turkey like that. I mean, the wiser thing to do would probably have done it in smaller increments. Maybe do 4 or 5 one time, and then work myself up from there. But I feel happy about this. I just had a protein drink, a whole 32 ounces of probiotic yogurt. A little bloated, but I'm gonna go see my daughter soon, and she's hungry, according to her mother. So anyway, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I'll answer them as soon as I can. My blog hasn't started yet, but I imagine when I do post this, and if there is questions, then leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get through them quickly. All right, you have a swell day. Cheers.